Hey, Internet friends, Magic Brad, SynergyCafe, and the Synergy Collaborative. And I've got a friend as a guest here. I'm going to do a little interview. And his name is Patrick Weseman, correct?
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
So I've known Patrick for a while. We're here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And just going to learn a little bit more about him. And first of all, who are you? You got kids, you married. Who's Patrick?
Yeah, oh boy. Who's Patrick? You know what? I think I would say first thing is my greatest accomplishment is having 6 kids. So I've got 6 children.
A herd.
Yeah, a herd, a gang. And I range all the way from 54 to 32.
God, I'm 59.
Yeah, you're young.
No, you don't look that old, though.
I'm not.
He's a teenager.
Yeah, I got kids older than I am.
So have you lived here in Minneapolis all your life?
Pretty much, yeah, all my life. So I went to school here, grew up here, but I've traveled a lot. I've been all over the United States and all over the world. So who I am?
This is a better place. This is
Yeah.
one of the nicest places you've been.
This is you know what? This is a nice city. I love
like
the city.
Minneapolis.
It's parks, it's lakes. I'm a kayaker and a biker, and so I really like getting out in nature. So this is a beautiful place to do
Okay.
that.
So I know you're into like lifestyle and things like that. So what is it you do currently for a living? I know you've done all sorts of stuff. You used to be out at the Renaissance Festival selling candles and
Yeah.
all sorts of businesses. But what are you doing now? I know that you're kind of retired, but
Well, I'm semi-retired. I'm
Yeah.
retired. I think retired and retarded it gets to be.
This
mixed
is
up
re-
after
this
a
is
while.
retired.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I teach something called Unlimited Breath, which is a transformational breath work that helps people look at childhood trauma and how it affects their lives and how to how to change the ideas they have about life. And I teach meditation and I teach yoga. The Himalayan style, which is totally different than what's being taught out in the world.
Himalayan style meditation or Himalayan style yoga or both?
Both.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. It's a softer, more conscious of your breath, more conscious of movements, slower movements.
Okay. Where do you do that? Where do you do your classes? You got a studio or?
Well, I used to have a studio. I used to have the Golden Valley Wellness Center, but the building sold, so I never went out and started all over again. But I teach. I teach in.
I just had an image of you sitting there like Granny Clampett. I'm not leaving. They sold the building, and I'm not leaving.
Yeah, almost felt like that. But I teach in community centers around town, and I teach some classes at the meditation center in Northeast Minneapolis.
Okay. And then when do you do these things? I'm assuming you have to do it when the community center is open, but do you do like morning classes or evening classes?
No,
or?
usually I teach evening classes. I will be teaching coming up at elder homes for elderly people, so they can get a little bit more flexible and breathe more properly. We live exactly the way we breathe, and we breathe exactly the way we live. So if you can just change your breath, you can change how you live.
Makes total sense. As above, so below kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you said that the Himalayan style is a bit different. How is it different than the other styles and the breath work and the stuff that you do, the yoga, the meditation, and the breath work? How is that different than everything else?
Well, okay. First place, yoga comes from the word to yoke. So if you think of yoking, you think of 2 oxen being yoked. Okay, well, that is true. One oxen is the mind, one oxen is the body, and what yokes the mind and body is the breath. So breathing and being aware of the breath is the major part of the yoga that I teach, and the meditation that I also teach. So union of body and mind is through the breath, and being aware of the breath and being conscious of the breath in every type of movement that we do is more of the Himalayan style yoga. Now, the Himalayan style yoga has been here for 5,000 years. whole bunch of other branches off from that. But most part of the Himalayan style yoga, it has to do with learning how to relax, learning how to breathe, and learning how to be still. Not the movements. That's just a tiny part of yoga.
Got it. It's not fidgeting. Okay, here's my favorite question whenever I do these interviews, and that is the big why. Why do you do this, and why aren't you like a author, or why aren't you like a car mechanic, or why aren't you in the candle business anymore?
I was, okay.
You were a car mechanic.
Yeah.
270,000 years old. He's kind of done everything. Remember them oil lamps back in the...
Yeah, right. I was there when it happened. Why? Well, I can say that, I'm a ferocious reader, and one day someone gave me a book on yoga. And I read the book, and I was absolutely, totally fascinated. I never realized that yoga came from a language that was 5,000 years old, the oldest language known to man, and that is actually the oldest science known to man, and it's been around for more than 5, 6, 7, 8,000 years. First it was a language that was passed on, and then it was written. So it was, I was fascinated by it. I didn't realize, and then at that time I was into gymnastics, and I was getting married and having kids, not having a chance to be out in the high bar. So I started doing yoga, and I said, "Wow, this really keeps my body cool." So I started doing that, and then in the book it said that the major part of yoga is the meditation aspect of it, and you can't learn that from a book. You have to go see a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked around. This was 1969.
I was around.
Yeah, and I was looking around for a teacher, and I was first looked at TM. They wanted too much money, and then I looked at Hare Krishnas, and I wasn't going to shave my head and become a celibate or sell flowers at the airport. And that didn't appeal to me. So, but then I heard this supposedly Himalayan master who was going to be speaking in someone's home, and I went to the home, and his name was Swami Rama, and he completely, totally blew my mind. I mean, he reached out, grabbed me, and said, "Wake up." And I've been trying to wake up ever since. And it was a life change. It's one of those meetings that just absolutely, totally change your life.
So the why for you is because it's just in you.
Yeah, I would say that,
Yeah.
sure.
So, because sometimes people say like, well, I want to change the world and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I want to help everybody.
Yeah. Well, I'm one of these persons. Why is a good question, because I've asked that my whole life.
Right. And I always tell people that my mom knows the answer, and she said, because I said so, that's why.
Yeah.
And that's why.
Yeah. That's
So,
my mom said
interesting.
the same thing.
Well, that's enough for now. I'm going to do a couple more of these interviews with Patrick too, and we'll get these out on the internet so people can see. And if you want to get a hold of him, it's Weseman, like Weseman or Weseman.
Right. And or thehealingarts.com.
Oh, if you're via the internet, where this video probably will be. I was just going to leave it on my phone, but
Yeah,
we'll get it out to the world in case somebody wants to hear. So, peace, love, and happiness. This is Magic Brad signing off. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.